Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Alexander Deki. I'm a wedding filmmaker based there in Lagos, Nigeria, and today you're welcome to my YouTube channel. So today, basically, I'll be talking to you guys about second shooting as a wedding filmmaker. One of this happens to be one of the ways you can actually grow faster and make money, and also understand how the business side of this industry works. Nobody actually has the time to actually sit you down and start teaching you filmmaking. You can learn the basics of how to handle camera, the exposure triangle, which if you go on YouTube today, you can actually get several videos on the basics of how camera works, the exposure triangle, aperture, aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. How these things work together, how their relationship, and how you can make them work for yourself. But the truth is, nobody is sitting down and tell you when to use what at a particular time. But the fastest way to get to practicalize everything you've learned online, because if you sit down on YouTube and keep learning, and you're not practicalizing everything you've learned from YouTube, you might actually not understand, and you'll be frustrated because you're not actually practicing that which you are learning from the YouTube. So the best way for you to practicalize those things is about working with people. I'll be sharing my story of how second shooting helped me when I started. When I started, basically, after my first degree, I studied economics from Unilag, University of Lagos, Unilag. So when I finished, I actually met a good friend of mine who was already in the industry. MCE Films, you can check him out on Instagram. Really, he's a great wedding filmmaker, very good content creator also. So I met him and I was like, "Yo, bro, I'm coming back into the industry, and I'll actually love you to put me through how it works." So when I met my friend, he then told me, "Okay, so we'll go out to call me a second shoot." Then I was not using gimbal. I'll be on tripod while he is on gimbal. So, couples are always sometimes they'll be in different locations, sometimes they'll be in the same location but different rooms. So that is for the preparation for makeups and the likes and dress ups. So I'll be with the groom, he will be with the bride. So whenever you is to shoot the couple together, because he'll shoot them separately, he'll shoot the bride separately, I'll shoot the groom separately. Then they come together, he shoots, you understand? And I get to watch how he does his things, and bit by bit, I started growing. So I started off as a second shooter, and I was earning a certain amount. There's an industry standard, So once you're just starting, don't put money as your priority. Put learning. So I'm just trying to share this second shooting aspect. Like, it's one of the key aspects, because if you're just starting up in the industry, nobody trusts you enough to give you their wedding, because nobody is willing to risk the fact that no matter how close you guys are, nobody is willing to risk one of the happiest day of their life just because they know you or they believe in you. No, they have to see what you have done. And the best way for you to boost your confidence as a wedding filmmaker is to actually work on wedding projects that you will not be tensioned. What I mean is that if you are working on as a second shooter for somebody's wedding, it is easy for you to make mistakes, and the person knows how to cover up because the person has been in the industry. The person knows your strength and your weakness. Do you understand? And you also know your strength and your weakness. Rather than you just learning on YouTube and thinking you already know it, then you go and spoil somebody's wedding. So start up as a second shooter. From there, you can build yourself and gain that confidence. Like I said, my story, that was how I started. Learn from somebody, and from there, after I worked with him for after I constantly shoot with him, I was also getting my own small gigs by the line. I was getting wedding for less than $100, 40K, 20K. I've shot wedding for 20K before. Shoot, edit, 20,000 naira. So, but there was a growth process. Do you understand? And so after I was a chocolate for him, then I also worked with another senior colleague of mine, Joseph Mo Films. You can actually check him out on Instagram. So he then also pulled me through. So by this time around, remember when I started with my former guy, MCE Films, with him, he was able to push me in from like, it was more like, although I knew about camera, I was shooting before, as in I was shooting weddings also, but not at the level at which they were shooting in the industry, because they were the one making big money. And I was like, how do I start making the big money like they are making, not the 20,000 and 50,000 naira, you know? And I discovered that the best way is for me to start up, like, meet most of these guys and come under them as if I was just starting up, which I knew I wasn't just starting up, but you have to respect myself. Sure, you understand. So by the time we met, after I met the second shooter, Joseph Mo, so now the first guy I met, MC Films, I met him on a platform like I didn't know anything. So he put me through and I started understanding, and when I even met, I didn't know how to use gimbal. I was just only with tripod, and I was still making the mistakes of, when you're an amateur, you think your hand is very balanced. You use your hand to carry camera, pan in, pan out, those kind of things, while you have tripod there, and I didn't know that there's no way as a human being you cannot be as stable as a tripod or as a gimbal. You will shake no matter what, especially if you are taking a long shot. You will shake because you are a human being. You are bound to make mistakes. Do you understand? So I grew up from that aspect. When I met Joseph Mo, I didn't meet Joseph Mo as a amateur anymore. I met him on the platform of, Alex, okay, you know what? You will lead a shoot. So you understand? And from there, I've grown from just using a tripod to becoming the head shooter for several projects. Do you understand? So I didn't come to him as an amateur. I came to Joseph Mo as an intermediate. So I'm going to share with you 3 reasons why you should start up as more than 3, but 3 basic reasons why I feel like if you're just starting up, start up, go straight. Like once you've learned the basics, probably you went to a school or look for the people that are already big in the industry. They might not all of them will answer you, but try and there's no way the videographers, one person will not say yes. Find a way. If you can wait to the end of this video, I will show you how you can compose interesting email that somebody will read and be willing to, I'll show you how to slide into senior content creators DM and ask them for assistance, training, mentorship. So number 1 reason why I think you should start up when you're at the beginning of your career as a second shooter, number 1 is for you to gain confidence in yourself as a wedding filmmaker. Because even though if you are a professional, you still need somebody to groom you up, somebody to give you the basics, on how the wedding industry works. That's number 1. It also helps you to gain the necessary skills. Confidence is on one part because confidence is another skills. So the skills I'm talking about is you get to understand the audio, slow motion, 24 frames, 30 frames, 4K, log, all those things you've been hearing, you'll be watching on YouTube. You get to understand when to apply each one and which works for which, or what works for what. Becoming a second shooter, it helps you to understand that aspect. You also get to make money because you also get paid as a second shooter. It may not be a huge sum of money, but you get a certain amount of money that if you are smart, like I did, every little money I was getting then, 10K, 15K, 20K, I was saving most of those money after paying my tithes. Obviously, learn to pay your tithes. That's a bonus tip. So I saved those money. I bought my first camera, which if you check my video there where I listed cameras in my bag, my first camera was Sony A6400, an amazing camera. I saw that camera for it's a long story, but there's an improvement now. So I saw the camera, I got my new camera, which is what I'm using right now, the Sony A7 III, but A6400 was my first camera, an amazing camera, trust me. So from there, so 3 things. So you get to make money, you get to get confidence, you get to utilize the skill set you'll be learning on YouTube, on practical job, and you get to make all your mistakes early with somebody else's wedding then definitely those mistakes will not be costly, because the person will definitely know you are just starting, so they will definitely know how to patch and put you in places where you won't make costly mistakes. Even though you still make costly mistakes, but they will know how to figure things out. There are some certain advantages and disadvantages as becoming a second shooter. The number one disadvantage is the fact that every shooter you will work with as a second shooter will have their own style of shoot. So I used to tell people, diversify your knowledge. Don't just pick from one person. Whoever you're going to second shoot for is going to ask you to shoot in a way that he or she wants. Do you understand? So you need to understand, okay, first of all, whoever is going to be putting you through is going to be teaching you based on what they know. So that's why I said diversify people that mentor you. So you pick from here, pick from here, pick from here. And you get to this, then you get to define your own style. So you can also add that second shooting helps you to define your own style. You get to decide, okay, this is the kind of style I enjoy whenever I'm shooting. So this is the kind of style I will be shooting when I start getting my own clients. So now, for me, when I started with MCE, I learned a style. When I went to move over to Joseph Mo, I learned a style of shoots. So I brought those things together and I formulated my own style. Do you understand? Now for the bonus tip I promised you earlier on at the beginning of this tutorial, I said I was going to give you a bonus tip of how you can slide into fellow content creators that you love to work with. It's very simple. So I'm going to split these tips into two. For somebody who wants to learn, and so for somebody who wants to become a second shooter. I mean, you already understand how to shoot, but you also want to improve, you want to upgrade yourself. So this is it. The first thing you have to write is introduction, appreciation, objective, introduce yourself. Hi, my name is Alexander. So hi, my name is Alexander. That's number one. Number two, I said appreciation. Oh, I love your works and I love the way you do this. I love the way you do that. If I work, be genuine about it. Oh, I love this. I love that. I love this. I love that. Simple. I love the way you did this. I love your storyline. I love this. I love this. I'm just starting up as a filmmaker. I've been on YouTube, watching tutorials, and I'd love to be under your tutorship or your mentorship. I'd love to come under you as a shooter so I can learn from you. Thank you. Just like that, at least the person will find, oh, you're also person, okay, you love my work. Oh, really? You like my work? Okay. What do you want? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Not everybody will reply you, but most of the time, at least pray about it also. One person among all the people you send to will reply you, and you can start from there. Now, one of the problems a lot of people face is that they feel like, I don't want anybody to use me. See, it's the world we live in today. Either you like it or not, people will use you, people will scam you, yeah. But those are the stories you will have to tell. Oh, when I was working with a person, I was underpaid, I was this, I was that. Those are your stories. If you don't pass through those things, if you are comfortable, the person is paying you well at the beginning, you might not even see any reason to start collecting your own direct gig. You'll just be comfortable. And most of the time, you might not even learn. You just feel, even with what I know, I'm already making money. And that's where the failure starts. Do you understand? So always keep improving, always keep learning and grow. So I think you get my point now. So, peace.